Hello, Internet! You are watching Mr. Axebane. I'm playing Farming Simulator 22, and this is episode 12 of my Griffin Indiana series. And this is a really exciting episode because I've been thinking about an idea that I want to try with this game. And this is the episode where I'm going to explain the idea. It's an evolution of, or an extension to, an idea that I did not come up with. I've seen several other people in the Farming Simulator 22 community to do this idea. I've taken that idea and I kind of added to it. I'll explain what I mean as we get into this episode. So, also very exciting. Our not canola, our soybeans are ready to harvest. Oh yeah, a field of soybean ready to harvest. So this is the field up here. It's our largest field slightly. At least I'm pretty sure it's a little bit larger than the other field. So we get to do that. We can do that today. So, and then the time to sell soybeans is gonna be, let's see. The best time is June. So we'll be harvesting now just before winter, and we're gonna need to hold on to that. We'll make a lot more in June. So we'll get to do that today to harvest, or at least get started on. I'm sure we can. It's not a very large field, so we should be able to do that today. Canola looks fine. The honey is almost full. And we have... Whoa! Wait. Oh, I was reading the amount of food, 3,000 liters as wool, and I was like, whoa! Now we're talking... No, that's the amount of food they have. The amount of wool we have is 398 liters. That's not bad, though. Almost 400. And also, of course, we need today to go ahead and bale and wrap this grass to make silage. Now, the idea, right? At the start, I said I had a really interesting idea. I think it's cool. I think it's going to be fun. But I want to try with this game. So I'm going to go ahead and explain that while we get started. While I get started today. Well, before I get started, because it's going to be difficult necessarily to focus on farm work while I explain this. Alright, so what's this big idea? What's the heck? Come on, you just got to spill it, right? Okay, so there's an idea that I've seen several other people in the community do, like I say, which is pretty cool, where they basically do a save game, whatever type of save game, whether it's a survival game where they start with basically nothing and have to work their way up, or whether it's something like this where I started with 300,000 plus 200,000 from the bank and trying to work our way up. They play a save game in their preferred method, and then when they have a decent amount of money, they take that money, and I'm also assuming they take the money they would get from selling all their equipment, and they move to another map, right? Because there's a mod called Easy Dev Controls that you can easily add or remove money, so you could take that money, start a new save, and they'll take those funds and they'll continue from there. They might even transfer their vehicles, because you can spawn in the same vehicle, so they could just continue the farm, but on a new map, like as if they uprooted and decided to start the farms elsewhere, but continued with the wealth that they had accumulated. So it's like almost all part of the same save, even though it's being played over map to map to map, right? So like I say, I did not come up with that idea. That's an idea I've seen. I think it's a really cool idea. It's fun to me. You get to try a lot of maps without having to start from the beginning every time. Right? Cool. So, let's do that. But let's take it one step further. And try something I'm just going to call multi-map gameplay. Multi-map gameplay is taking that basic idea. Okay, we can move money from a map to a new save game on a different map. But what if this map kept going? What if we owned this farm? We started a second farm eventually on another map. Take money there to get that farm going. But we leave most of our equipment and some of our money here at Griffin, Indiana, at our farm here. And we don't sell this farm, or we don't get rid of it. We just keep it. And I could just come here a couple times a year, for instance, to seed and then to harvest, and obviously at least once a month to take care of the honey production, and maybe sell it if there's enough, and take care of the wool production, make sure that the sheep have enough hay, see how they're doing. Essentially, run multiple maps, multiple farms, and be able to transfer not just money between them, but also let those progress as well. So if I move to another map, I'll start farm number 2, and on farm number 2, I might take, let's say if I've saved up $400,000 from this farm, hopefully after a couple of years or something, right? I could take the 400,000, maybe take 300,000 of it to a new map, 350,000 of it to a new map, maybe leave 50,000 here, leave everything except maybe I'll take the truck to the new map, and then as I play the new map, if I play 6 months of gameplay on the new map, I'll come over to this map and advance time 6 months, so that whatever's going on in the fields continues to grow. Or I could leave the fields fallow. And then if this farm makes enough money while I'm running farm number 2, I can bring more money over to farm number 2, or take money from farm number 1 and farm number 2, and start farm number 3. And I could choose whether to keep the save game from each previous save. And if I keep each farm, I'll have multiple maps on I'll have multiple farms on multiple maps, multi-map gameplay. And I can do what I want when I come back to visit Griffin, Indiana. When I come back to this farm after I've started farm number 2, I can still do farm work here whenever I feel like it, or I can just not do any. Just make sure sheep have enough food and water. And I also thought, well, we'll take that and then we'll add one small thing to that, and that's if I want to bring equipment or supplies to the new maps, to the new farms, I'll have to pay a transport fee. Right? It's as if I'm renting a train. I'm not going to actually rent the train in the game, but it's like I'm renting a train to take my stuff and deliver supplies and equipment to another farm, another place, another map to start my next farm. And I'm thinking I'll just keep it simple, and we'll say that I can move as many pallets, bags, and bales as I want for $1,000, and then it's $1,000 per vehicle, because some vehicles are very large, which it makes these kind of, it's kind of expensive. I might leave behind the old tractors, but like imagine if we had to bring a harvester. That cannot be cheap to transport that thing any long distance. So we'll just do that. I pay $1,000, and I don't have to bring stuff over there. I could just take the money and buy vehicles there. But let's say I wanted to take the truck and maybe some supplies to get me started. Maybe I wanted to take the wool because maybe I'll use it in a production point on map 2. Who knows? And I'll just have to pay those fees. I'll deduct that from the money that I'm taking to the next farm. So that's what I'm thinking. That's my idea. I think it will be fun and interesting. And I would be remiss to not mention that in some ways, an old video game kind of inspired me for this idea too, and that's SimCity 4. If any of you guys have ever played or familiar with SimCity 4, you could start multiple cities on that game on one huge region map, and as you placed and built cities on each of the chunks of the map, you would be able to connect the cities in simple ways. Like, for instance, if they had power lines connected, one city could supply power to the other city. There's just the other city that's receiving the power would have to buy it from the first city. And it created this interesting, really interesting dynamic where you could have an industrialized city help provide power and industry to a different style city that's on the chunk, the map on the other, across the border. And if you connected them, on the border, we can't connect the maps on here. It's not designed for that. But that's sort of one of the inspirations for this idea. SimCity 4. I loved that game. We'll be doing something like that in Farming Simulator. We'll just have to manually do it using, like I say, the mod Easy Dev tools. I can easily transfer money and vehicles and things, even the bales and the supplies and whatnot, like this bale of hay, to farm number 2, number 3, and we don't have to limit ourselves. We can do as many as we want. Now, you might ask, well, why not? If you want to just start a new farm with a decent chunk of money, just start a new save game with Farm Manager mode, where you start with no land and no equipment, but you have 1.5 million, or do another start from scratch if you want to make it difficult. And I could have as many save games as I want. Yeah, of course I could do that. You get money when you start each time. You could do that, but it would be really cool to take my choice of how much money to start, what size. Like, I could just try to make a little bit of money here and start small on another small farm, or I could try to save up and start larger, and each of them will, be working. I'll be working toward each farm as a goal. Well, like I say, we'll add that extra layer of this farm can continue, and I'll just advance time here. And that'll be interesting. If we leave the fields fallow, they'll get all weeds in them and stuff. It'll look like a real abandoned farm if we don't spend any time hardly here at all. It'll be digitally abandoned. Find that interesting. I think that will be cool. A dynamic way to play the game on multiple maps. Okay, so I think that'll be fun. That's what we're gonna do. Now we have to get started on the work today, right? I've been running around and just talking and explaining this, which is fine. We have some time. We have only one field to start harvesting, but let's see about that. Look at the sale paper. See if we're really lucky if we'll get. There's 2 different headers on sale. We already got a good one on sale. All right, so we're gonna lease a harvester. I definitely can't really buy one yet, or I can't justify it. So we're gonna lease one. We'll have to lease a fairly small one so I don't spend too much money. I'm only doing one field. So luckily I do have even a couple modded options for smaller, older types of harvesters, right? Just to go along with the smaller, older tractors. So that actually shouldn't be a problem. All right. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and take a look at harvesters at the shop. A couple of ones I have modded here are these 2. Oh, and this one too. I forgot how many I put in there. Wow, okay. If we go all the way to the cheapest one, it's only 32,000 to own it. Wow. I'm sure it's very slow and has a very limited capacity, 1,500 liters. Let's see, the first one that's not modded is almost 5,000 liters. So obviously it has very low storage, but we don't have much to harvest, right? So it might be ideal, even if it's slow and small. Assuming it can handle that big header we have. maybe we should get this one. This has a lot more horsepower. And I don't know how many liters because it's showing it in cubic meters now. 44,000 to buy. Let's see how much it is to lease that. 2,244. Now, do we think we'll make at least that much from that field of soybean? I have no idea, but I would imagine it would be that field, even though it's not a big field. Gosh, I mean, it probably have to produce at least $6,000, I would think, right? Let's see how much it would be to lease that little tiny one. I don't even know if this is large enough to do it. 1,632. Gosh, it's so affordable, but it would be constantly running out of space. But we could just put it in the tipper. We're not going to have that much to fill it with. This is a tough choice. Let's try and get away with it, because that's the ideal thing. We have one not so large field, but basically small field to harvest. So hopefully that small thing will do it, even with our large header. All right, let's go and fast travel to the shop. We can finally pick up our header that we bought. I don't even know which episode that was. That feels like episode 1 or 2 or 3, I think. Anyway, yeah, let's get this fired up. It doesn't even have a cab. Look at that. It's just open. That is interesting. It's not that loud for me. So that means it's probably definitely not loud for you guys, luckily. Hopefully. Most harvesters are louder than this. This is quiet. I'm surprised. All right, see if we can do this. Well, obviously I shouldn't try to. We learned a valuable lesson. You can go forward, but I can't turn it because the back wheels are the turning wheels. Well, we learned a valuable lesson. About a $1,600 lesson. That no, this little guy cannot handle a huge freaking header. Oh well. We learned, like I say, we learned a lesson. We just had to pay a little bit of money for a pricey lesson. Because I'm gonna unless we leased a small header, but then what was the point of buying that other header? Alright. Y'all can y'all can have it back. $1,600 lesson. Some lessons are more expensive than others. So we can't mess around with that one that small. This one has a lot of horsepower. See, that one's even less. 155, 175, 310. So the lowest one, if we didn't have mods, would be this one at 175 horsepower, 4,900 liters. So if this one has 220 horsepower, it's strong. It's just smaller, older. I don't know how small this one is. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna have that much storage. But gosh, it should be large enough and heavy enough, right? Let's see. It's also 10 tons. This one is 8.3 ton, 9.4 ton, and this unmodded one is 10.2 tons. Yeah, so this is even heavier, actually. All right, cool. Let's try this one then. I'll have to lease it for 2,200. So hopefully we can make money after wasting 1,600 of it. Oof. Big farming oof. There's plenty of rooms for mistakes in farming. This one's a little louder, isn't it? Let's get in the cab. A little bit quieter in the cab. You can hear the rumbling of the rumble in the tummy of the big harvester, big old harvester. Like literally big and old. I don't know how old this thing is, but it's clearly not from the modern day. Right? Look at that. Look at that thing. Listen to that purr. Listen to that. We should definitely get a header trailer, but I'm going to try to be a doofus. No, I can't do that. I can't get over the covered bridge with this header on there. We need a header trailer. Oh, dang it. Alright. Can you even tow that in the back of this thing? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Wow. Alright, let me check the shop and see if there's a header trailer. Okay, so we gotta buy a header trailer, and they're down here, all the way at the bottom. If you go to the trailer and or go to the tool section, the one after the third one here, down at the bottom there's header trailers, and I couldn't find one that matches the brand, so I'm assuming that I need one about. I'm assuming these is a dash 30. They're both dash 30. I'm hoping that that means they can hold up to a 30 foot. Ours is 30 foot, so right, so we'll go ahead and buy the trailer, and I hope this is the right thing. It should work. I think it should work. Alright, so I just need to position myself so that I can drop this on the trailer, right? And that might be a little easier said than done. That's okay, it's not gonna be too difficult. Alright, cool. I guess I just drop it, and there we go. Alright, well done. Oh, cool, I saw it shifted for a second, so I picked it up there. So we should be good to go. So we own the trailer, we own the header, but we do not own the harvester. That's alright. It's kind of old and it's old and outdated anyway. I guess that's how we like it. I like the vintage stuff. But it's like harvesters I want. That's something I look forward to upgrading sooner rather than later. And this isn't going to be a vintage series. I've never said that that's the only thing we're going to use, of course. Because I want to still work my way up. I just like having those as an option for smaller farms, starting small. Oh, here comes a vehicle. Normally I just drive out there willy-nilly since it's like this game's very forgiving as far as like crashing usually. I can't. Oh, pardon me, man. I don't even know what's going on back there. Gosh, that was sloppy. That was about the sloppiest you could do it. This thing is not turned quickly. Alright, so cool. We can actually try to get home and harvest some soybeans if I have enough time. It's gonna take forever to get home in this thing. This is 13 miles an hour. It feels so slow compared to 50 miles per hour in our truck. Just plodding along. Alright, so I'll be back at the farm soon. And in the meantime, I want to just mention a couple more things about this multi-map gameplay idea. So, what's really cool is with the Easy Dev Tools mod, I think that's what it's called, I can not just transfer the vehicle, like I can delete it from this farm if I bring a vehicle over to a second farm. I could delete it from this farm, and I can add it to the other farm, and then I can actually set the operating hours to whatever it was. So it won't be a brand new version of the truck. It'll be a truck with the exact same amount of of hours of use. It'll be as if I transferred the same truck. I mean, I think that's cool. I think that's very cool. And another thing I thought about is if I do this several times until I have 3 or 4 farms going on multiple maps, if those have income streams coming in like the bees and the sheep do on this one, then eventually it'll be like a new kind of gameplay. I'll reach a point where I'm making like maybe, you know, who knows, $500,000 a month, you know, or more, and I could get to where I could try to buy like an entire map or something. Like, then I've won the game. That's the end of the game. If you buy an of course you could do that on one save game. If I can do it with a variety of owning multiple farms on multiple maps, it gives me all this freedom to play on whatever map I feel like with what I can do what I want with each farm, but still keep the farms and have them producing when I'm not there. Alright, so I need to yeah, I dropped the trailer there. That's fine. We'll keep that in that field. So I just need to pick up the header and get to work. I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to put an AI worker on this. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, for a second I thought I had crop destruction still on. I was like, oh no, I forgot. That's one of the reasons I turned it off. You just can't maneuver easily a lot of times with crop destruction on. And oh, I need to pick it up. Oh, I didn't. How do I release that actually? Is there? I've never actually used this kind of thing. I need to get it off the trailer. So do I just raise it up? Let's see if we can just, if I can lower header. Can I? No. Can I raise it? No, that's the other part. Oh, maybe I was supposed to release it before I. Oh, never mind. It's. I thought it. Maybe I just back up. How do I? Huh. Oh my gosh. Sorry, that's funny. Okay. Let me get back in here, or let me reconnect to it. I probably have to do that. And then I can release it. If you can't tell, I've never actually used a header trailer in this game. Usually I just play, like on Elm Creek and a lot of maps, if your header's not too big, you can just drive it home. Which I know is not how you're supposed to do it, but... Alright, now if I can get this lined up right. I'm not doing this right. Alright, if I can get this lined up correctly, I am assuming there's a key I pressed to release the header from the thingy. Oh, come on. I'm definitely not lined up correctly. Gosh. Sometimes it's difficult to maneuver and talk at the same time. Just gotta, there we go. Wow, okay. And if we switch to the, Alright, well, I'll figure this out. Well, I have no idea what I did wrong, because this time it worked. I was able to do this if I could do it. I just pulled up, pressed Q to attach it, and I backed up. It literally just worked for me. Now I can't, I'm stuck now. Okay, I screwed up. That was really frustrating. I had to cheat and use super strength to lift the header off of the trailer, because this header trailer is a little too high for the harvester that I'm using. But I could not find a header trailer to match this header, and I don't know how high the other ones are. So apparently I bought the wrong header trailer. Oh well. We have about 3 or 4 hours left to harvest this field. It's not too big of a field, and it's actually a pretty big header, so it shouldn't be too bad. Now, the first time I started playing this game, I had so much trouble figuring out how to use these harvesters, but it's not too bad once you get used to it. So press V to lower it. Left mouse button and up and down can adjust the height, and I think we want to lower that some. And then left and right, while the mouse button, left mouse button held, it pushes it forward and back. So if I want to push out and down, it's usually how you like it, or how it works. And then we just have to hit, let's see, we had B to begin. Oh, and do we want, let's see, we're gonna go ahead and enable straw. Oh yeah, you can't do that with soybean. I forgot it. It's only wheat, barley, sorghum. I think that's it. All right. Hopefully I can get this done before it starts raining. It's supposed to start raining in about 4 hours. So we'll see. This is our first harvest, and it's going along quickly. We should definitely be able to have this finished. Oh, I forgot I have my time sped. I slowed down time a bit when I got really frustrated with the harvest, the header trailer. I was losing hours messing with that, so I had reduced the time scale a bit while I tried to figure out what the problem was. So you know what, to compensate for that, I'm going to speed it up a bit. We'll put it on 60 times fast. That's 4 times faster than I usually play. And then I'll switch it back here in a bit. Just a bit. Alright. Yeah, we're going to have this field done in no time. Okay, start the 3rd row. There we go, munch it up. Okay, so we'll switch the time scale back to 15 like we usually play at. That was more than enough speeded up time to compensate, I'm sure. So, yeah, it looks like I will get this done before it rains. And, of course, for those who don't know, the problem with harvesting while it's raining is you only get half as much yield. So you definitely do not want to do that. You just lose half of it due to all the wet, moldy crops that you're going to end up with. So it's now gotten dark. It's not raining yet. I can't hardly see anything. This harvester seems to have a bit of a problem with its lights too. The front light there is actually only shining in the cab. It doesn't light anything in front of me. Only the glass on the inside of the cab. It's a bit of a glitch, I'm assuming. So I can't really see anything, but I'm almost finished with this field, so Hopefully it'll be alright. Farming ain't easy. And now the harvester's full, and look how dirty it is. That's because I drove it back and forth in this wet grass over and over trying to get it out of this dang header trailer. I definitely bought the wrong header trailer. Should have got one a little bit smaller, I guess, or a little bit shorter. Okay, so the harvester's full, so I need to get this tipper. And this thing has good lights, luckily. Oh, we'll just park it out there actually and light the field to finish it. And just need to get this tipper, get it over there, and fill it, get the harvester emptied. Yeah, should have this done before midnight. Be cutting it close though. Oh, I thought I had it. Yikes. Come on. Come on. There we go. I don't have a lot of time. Press N to open the cover. I just gotta go over here and empty this dang harvester. To do that, I'm just gonna park this guy around here. Hopefully that's good enough. Hop back in here, press O to open the pipe. And not quite close enough. Oh gosh, is he dumping it on the ground? No. Oh, I didn't think they would do that. Or was it actually dumping it on the heck? Was he getting in the trailer? That's weird. I think this harvester, this is from a mod, may need an update or something. Whoops. Because it's doing weird stuff. Like the lights, and now this, I don't know if this is, if it's my fault or what, but let's try it again. I think that's still not good enough, but we're gonna just see. Oh. No, that's not good. Alright. Gosh. I wonder if I will have this done by midnight. I turn around and come at it from either, come at it from this other side here. Like, I go around here. Yeah, see, I've got a header that's too big for this harvester. A little bit, and the pipe doesn't stick out far, really. It does if we get closer. It's just gonna be pretty close. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, that should be plenty. Okay, finally. Gosh, we can finally get some soybeans. Those 4,375 liters. Is that, yeah. Oh, this one's slow to unload too. It has to get going. You can hear it. The pump, or, well, it's not a pump, whatever, the machine, the motor that's running the part that ejects the grain. Yeah, so just get the soybeans out of this thing and we can get this finished up. So I parked the truck in the middle of the field for extra light. This harvester does not have enough. Alright. Got one last strip to do. I know you can't see it really. It's crazy. There's one more strip to do though. And I'm cutting it really close because it looks like it's supposed to rain starting in about 30 minutes. So I'm getting this done just in time. Just barely. Can't see a thing. Alright, this should be good though. Just in time, we should be able to finish this field. Oh, it started raining. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up though because it's only a little bit left, and yeah, we're gonna get half the yield on this little bit that's left, but we got 98% of it probably before it started raining, so it's not bad. It's not bad. It could be a lot worse. Okay, I finished harvesting. Now I just need to empty the 1,325 liters of soybean that is inside the harvester. And I'm not even going to try to use that that header trailer. It's a shame I bought it too. I didn't lease it, I outright bought it. I'll just store the header on the ground here at the farm. and I'll probably just actually sell the header trailer I just bought, even though I'm gonna lose a lot of money doing that. But it's my mistake. I shouldn't have just bought one willy-nilly. I thought maybe this one will fit, because I couldn't find the Massey Ferguson brand. Oh well. Alright, now we do have to return the harvester. So I'm just gonna park this header right over here. I don't even know if this is on my land, but I'm gonna do it. And now that this harvester is empty, I'm gonna return it to the shop. I can do that from the interface, luckily. We'll just go down here to leased items and return. And it's not midnight yet, so hopefully we'll only be charged for the one day. And we only had one field to harvest. And I missed a good chunk right here. Oops. Oh well, not much. And then this dang trailer. I'm gonna sell it from right here, even though you get less for it if you don't drive it up to the shop. I don't even feel like driving up there. I don't want to hassle with this thing anymore. I'm gonna sell it. I thought we'd lose about half the value, but I think we spent about 6,000 something on it, didn't we? And we're getting back 4,800 or so. So that's actually not too bad. Okay, maybe I'll still keep. What is that? 2,000 something maybe. All right. Not the worst thing in the world, and we learned a good lesson there too. Make sure you're buying a header trailer that's for the proper header and for the proper harvester. All right. Pressing N to put the cover on this this tipper. Now we don't have a silo to store the grain in, but we won't have to harvest any more grain until next year, next summer, when the canola comes in, basically, right? And we'll get a new crop in that field soon. So I'm just gonna leave it in the tipper for now, instead of trying to invest in a silo. I really don't need a silo yet. Don't have enough grain to store. So we'll just park the tipper back. Well, that's gonna block the other tools. We'll park the tipper somewhere around here and just out of the way. And then when it's the most profitable to sell the soybean, that's when we're gonna sell it. But I'm sure that's not gonna be for at least 6 months. Alright, so finally we're finished working today. Got that field harvested. I talked about my idea, my extension of an existing idea that I didn't come up with, and there's probably other people who've tried this. I can't imagine that no one else has thought of this extension of that idea, not just start with whatever money you had. Whoops, I wanted to turn off the lights. Oh, whoops. There's still more lights. There we go. Yeah, so multi-map gameplay. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm not sure yet what the second map is going to be for the second farm, but I have a couple ideas in mind. It's going to be exciting to decide what. There's so many different maps to try, and I'm tempted to try so many of them. But I'll have to narrow it down to one, and then later we'll do a third farm. We'll have 3 at least farms going. All right, so that's the end of this episode. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. This has been Mr. Axebane. Have a great day.